Go the Rams. Bah!
Adelaide to bring it out from their own line. And met by some very willing Auckland defence. And pushed back a couple of metres. Kerrod Walters just goes from dubbing half to pick up Darren Doherty. Doherty, 25 metres out from his own line.
As now the Adelaide Rams make their way out onto Marathon Stadium for the first time.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Rampage League podcast. I'm Rolly, joined by Apai. How you going, mate?
Yeah, I'm going good, bro. Very excited.
Very good. So we'll start off with the preview of round 10. Round 9 was great at Magic Round, obviously, but we're back in. Everyone's got their home teams, which is good. Be good to see people with their crowds, home crowds. See if we get some big turnouts in Sydney. So we start off Thursday night. This one's interesting to me. It's the Eels versus the Dolphins, and I feel like the Eels, now they've got Mitchell Moses back, they're not really a 17th place team, and the Dolphins have been hot and cold. They can turn it on. They've got Hammer at the fullback, the halfback Katoa. He's been on fire. Only thing is Jerry Marshall-King's out for the Dolphins, which I think is a big out for them. But they do get Felice Kafusi back, which I rate him. He's an awesome player. At home for Parramatta, so that will be. I don't think it's really an advantage on a Thursday night because you don't really get a big crowd on Thursday night football. Really, depends on the weather too, I guess. But I'm gonna. Both teams look pretty strong on paper. I'm gonna say Parramatta to win at home. Just because I think Mitchell Moses, he just brings something to their team, and he kind of helps Dylan Brown. You've kind of lost without Moses for the first few rounds. Tip the Parramatta Eels. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, look, this is going to be this is an interesting game, I reckon. The Dolphins a bit inconsistent, whereas the Eels, I think, in some games, especially the more recent ones, they've showed a bit of grit there, which I like seeing. You mentioned Moses there as well, who adds to the team dynamic. In saying that, though, as much as I want to tip the Eels here with you, I think I'm going to go against the grain. I think the Dolphins are in for a big one. Expect Tabuai Fido to turn on the lights there.
He's a gun player. I love watching him play. In broken field play, he's great to watch, and obviously a great Queenslander as well. But obviously Origin coming up. We'll talk about that in the coming weeks. Friday, early game in Newcastle. The Knights come up with a big win against South, even though South had a lot of players out, against the Titans, who have obviously they've been in the news a bit with David Fifita, saying that he might be he's been shopped around by the club to other clubs, and now he's having surgery on his ankle, so he's out for a few weeks. I only found that out. And Dominic Young may be going back to Newcastle, being because he's been fall out of favour with the Roosters. So that'd be big if they get him back. They said he could be back by the end of this week, so that's a possibility. That will strengthen their team, I think, with him coming back possibly. But yeah, we'll go to the teams. No one really in or out, except for Jaden Campbell comes in for Tom Weaver. So I really feel, I always say this every time I talk to someone about the Titans, I feel for them so much. They have not really a lot of big fans, a fan base. They've got some good players. They just never seem to get it together. I guess their first kind of couple of years when they had Scott Prince and that Matt Rogers, Preston Campbell, they were a gun team. But since then, they've had the players but haven't had it. Just can't get it together. That's the reason I'll tip Newcastle home, because Newcastle home, I reckon they'll get a big crowd there. Nothing else to do in Newcastle but go to the footy. Kalimpong would be up for a big one. Bradman Best. We'll see. Jack Cogger, I think, needs to stamp down that number 7 too. Like they seem to cycle through halves, Newcastle. They need to stick with a halves pairing. And Jack Cogger, he was great for Penrith a few years ago. Yeah, I'm tipping Newcastle, but what's your thoughts?
Yeah, look, same boat as you regarding Titans, except I just think they're boring, in all honesty, every time I see them play. They've got the players there, clearly. But, again, falling out there with Dave Fifita is interesting. With the Knights, you touched on them. I think their recent win against the Rabbitohs, granted, obviously, not much players there for Souths. I still think they'll take that with them. And I don't think they've won in Newcastle for a few games, actually. So they're really going to be wanting to hold the fort here. And I'm going to back the Knights for this one.
Knights, yeah. So the next game's it's interesting. It's the Rabbitohs versus the Broncos. All right. Rabbitohs still have a few players out. They got Latrell back. Latrell, if he turns it on, he could win the game by himself. Will he do it though? And the Broncos coming off a loss. I love Selman Cobble at fullback. I think he's great. I think he's a great fullback. Like, I like him more than Reece Walsh, to be fair. Reynolds, Hunt, like they've gone on paper. The Broncos have a team that could win the comp. That is so inconsistent. And the Rabbits, they've got a few outs. I'm not a big fan of the Rabbits, to be fair, anyway. So I'm going to tip the Broncos just because I just look at their team on paper. I'm like that. After last week, they can't play out that again, surely. So yeah, I'm going to tip the Broncos. I'm thinking Selman Cobbo is going to have a big game, and I think Reynolds obviously will have a big game too. Latrell will see question mark how he goes. What's your thoughts, Abai?
Yeah, look, I agree with everything you said there, especially with Latrell Mitchell. You know, that Cobbo-Walsh debate is interesting, but I'm leaning more towards Cobbo. He just has the physical traits that, unfortunately, Walsh just doesn't have. The size, for example, the height, and he's just a lot more gamer in the air as well as Cobbo. He's just, he's relentless there, and I like what he's doing. But in regards to who I'm tipping, I think, look, I'll go for the Broncos. That loss last week was humiliating if you're a Broncos fan, especially against the Panthers, given the context of where they are on the ladder at the time. So I've got to back the Broncos, but I'm saying that if Latrell Mitchell's on, get ready for an upset.
So the next game is on Saturday, and it's in Canberra. So it'll be lovely and should be nice weather there still. Against the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs obviously on top of the ladder playing great football. Their defence is what's really got them that top spot. The Raiders second on the ladder. Did anyone pick that? Did you pick that?
Nope.
So old Sticky's got something down there. Maybe the Canberra milk, because it's quite tasty, the Canberra milk down there. So it's 1 versus 2, but you wouldn't really expect it to be after round 10. So there's both teams look pretty good. There's not really much difference, to be fair. So I think this is going to be a really good game. I see it being close. I think the Bulldogs will win just back on their defence. I think the Raiders. Is it a pretend second? Do you think they're really second on the ladder? Like, I don't see them second. I see them top 8, but I don't see them second. Like, this doesn't compute that they're second. So I expect a big game from Jamal Fogarty after Manly next year. But yeah, I think the Bulldogs. But what's your thoughts? This game's interesting.
I think the way you're questioning if they're a second team, that's what Ricky wants. He loves that. That's exactly what he wants us to think. He loves that mindset. That's what gets him going. That's what wakes him up in the morning. But in saying that, look, this should be a really tough game. This game has all the makings for being another Storm versus Canberra game last week over in Brisbane, honestly. I just don't know. But the Raiders, I've just got it back in the home. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's the milk. It's the milk there. But I don't know. I reckon,
Up the milk,
It's an Arvo game too. I want to stick with the Raiders here. It's a brave one.
It's a brave one. We'll have to revisit this when we do the next podcast and see how you think that goes. All right, so the next game is the Dragons versus the Wars. And I remember talking about this last year about the Warriors, how they fell off so bad last year. But this year, they seem to be back to the Wars of 2 years ago. So I'm obviously you're very happy. I'm happy too. And DWZ's back. I'm a massive fan of DWZ. So he's back in the wing. Interesting they got Kurt Capewell in the centres. He hasn't played for centres for a few years now, and he's aging a bit. Will he be found out defensively? I don't know. We'll find out. I'm tipping the Warriors. I think the Dragons, like on paper, have a good team. They don't seem to put it together. And they sacked Lachlan Ilias, which I think it was a big call. I thought he was playing well in halfback. Yeah, on paper they've got a good team, but I think the Warriors just Luke Metcalf actually played for Manly before he went to the Warriors. So much respect for him. He's a gun player. The forwards, I think, for the Warriors will ram it home. Rams ram it home.
That's it.
So I big respect to Aaron Clark too. He used to play for the Titans. I think he's been great too. I think it'll be close, but I think the Warriors, 1-12, and they need a good win. I think to keep that top 4, keep that momentum going. Up the Wires. Yeah, so go the Wires. I don't even have to ask you who you're going for, but what's your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, look, I'm going to tip the Warriors for sure, 100%. But in saying that, just watch out because Capewell was exposed in that Cowboys game. Obviously, it was just, due to Rocco Berry being out, he had to shift. But you're right, the pace there was off, and the Cowboys nearly won that game because of that reason. So look for Valentine Holmes to be licking his lips in that matchup there. But all the Dragons, the Warriors haven't actually won in Wollongong. They don't really win too many games there as well, statistically speaking. So I wanted to the Warriors, but I'm extremely cautious. The Dragons are unfortunately due a good win. I just hope it's not against us, up the wires.
Yeah, up the wires. Well, they're due for a win then. If they haven't won there for a while, they've got to win sooner or later. So this is the round, surely. Okay, so next game is in lovely Townsville, and that's the Cowboys versus the Panthers. So the Cowboys already beat the Panthers a few rounds ago, which is a shock. The big in for the Panthers is Brian Toto back in. Absolute weapon of a player, probably the best winger, I'd say, in the comp. Now that the Panthers have got a bit of form, even though they've been a bit inconsistent, but they've got that form. I think last round they kind of played like the Panthers we expect. Dylan Edwards, he's an amazing player. So Mitch Kenny's back too, which is a big thing for their spine. He's underrated hooker. In Townsville, though, like the Cowboys have been pretty good this year. I think it'll be a good game. Will the ref decide this match? It could happen. Do I expect the Panthers to come out and play as good as last week? I do. So I'm going to tip the Panthers, but I'm going to tip it to be close. The battle of the forwards would be great. Nanai versus Liam Martin. You got Papali'i versus Bateman. Tamalolo's there. There you go. It's going to be a good game. I'll actually look for. It's probably my game of the round, to be fair. I just feel like both teams are kind of hit form at the right time, and this could be a golden point. I'm thinking maybe Nathan Cleary 2-point field goal. Or I was going to say that's me. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, look, first of all, Nathan Cleary, how good is he? And second, look, I don't think we should overlook just how desperate the Cowboys would be in this game, a home game as well. They were they were unlucky to just lose to the Warriors considering the second half there. I loved what I saw from the Panthers. Yes, it makes you want to believe, but due to the inconsistency, is it going to be there? Is it not? I don't know. I really don't know. But in saying that, this game here, I'm going to be safe, and I'll tip the Cowboys to run home with this one.
Ooh, yeah. It's one of those games, isn't it? So the next game is the Storm versus the Tigers. I feel sorry for the Tigers straight away because the Storm don't play bad 2 weeks in a row, and they are dangerous. When I seen them, I went to the Manly Storm game a few weeks ago, and I was watching obviously the Manly team, but I watched the Storm play, and they just seem to be just all in sync with each other. Like they have. Obviously, they got their stars, but everyone seems to know their job really well. I think I said this a few weeks ago. And they just, every time they touch the ball, doesn't matter where they were, they look dangerous. They looked really dangerous. So it'll be a big test for the Tigers. The thing I see, the weakness for the Tigers straight away, looking at the team sheet, is Charlie Staines on the wing. Okay, I think he's a small winger, and he tends to come off his wing. He pushes in too much. Him and Brent Naden together, former Panthers players, but they I think Charlie Staines is the weakness there. Will they target him? Being his first game back in like first grade for a while, probably. If the Tigers can defend on their line, they're in a chance. But the broken field play with Pappenhausen, Munster, Hughes, it can be dangerous. They could just say they have a bad start, a couple of penalties against them. The Storm get on a roll, back-to-back sets. They can score quickly and score quite quickly and keep it going, and then just shut them out of the game quickly. I don't want that to happen, but I'm going to say the Storm. I think they're going to win it easily, but I don't want them to. But I think they will. What's your thoughts, Apai, on this one?
Yeah, look, I don't want to sound cliche, but this is exactly why they got Roy for, right? This is the exact reason why he's in the team for these big moments, these big games. Again, forget the Galvin, Tiff, and all that stuff there. I think the players are going to be unified for this game here. Again, it's against the Storm, and like you said, the Storm are always in sync. They're just so, man, I don't like them. I don't like the Storm. But they're just so brilliant to watch, though. But this will be the first real test, maybe, for the Tigers. Obviously they versus the Broncos, but just like a genuine premiership team here that they're versing. They versus the Bulldogs too, granted. But this will be a real test for them. In saying that, though, the loss of the Raiders, Bellamy's going to be hounding him. They're going to win 13 plus, unfortunately, for the Tigers. Yeah. But look out for Terrell May.
He's a gun. Smokey for Origin too, yeah. So the last game, was there 2 games on Sunday? There's 2 games. There's 3 games on Sunday. All right. Where am I looking? Here we go. No, this is the last game. This is the Manly Seagulls versus the Sharks at Rookie. As a Manly fan, I love to see my team play well. Sharks already beat us. The Sharks have been William Kennedy has been like amazing. I don't know where he's got some great form. Oh man, I'm not going to tip against my team, and I know at home, Brookie. It's going to be a big crowd. Hopefully, sunny afternoon. Turbo, don't get injured. Every time he touches the ball, I hold my breath until he gets up, and then when he starts walking, I see no hobble. I'm like, okay, he's good for the next play. Obviously he's got to have a big game. Cherry, the whole him leaving. Hopefully that's done now. We've got a replacement, Jamal Fogarty. So hopefully it's just business now. Like, it's not personal. It's just business. Football is the business. He's leaving. Let's move on with it and win the comp. But Olukwatu, I love that guy. He is amazing on that edge. So he'll have a big game. And my favourite Manly player is Todd Kohler. I think he is underrated. You can fill in a fullback. He's a great centre. He's fast too. So I'm going to tip Manly, but I'm going to say it's really tight. I might come down to goal kicking, which Ruben Garrick, he's a bit. Every time he kicks the ball, I'm not 100% sure he's going to kick it, even from right in front. I'm like, is he kicking it? And he kicks it. So yeah. Hopefully Ruben Garrick kicks the winning goal and we win. And yeah, I'll be nervous the whole 80 minutes with Turbo. What's your thoughts on this one?
If I'm not mistaken, the last time you guys versed each other was over in Perth, ironically.
Yeah. Yes.
Speaking of Perth, yes, look, this game here, I still think the Sharks, despite how good they've been, I don't know. I don't trust that combination of Trindle and Hines. I still don't.
Yeah.
That form William Kennedy has just gotten all of a sudden. Man, it's awesome. It's good to see. But look, it's a Sunday arvo. Over there in 4 Pines. I'm going to back you guys to do it. I really am. I reckon DCE and Co should click. Looking for Tom Trbojevic to have a big game as well. Jason Saab. I'm going to back your boys here, man. So see you with me.
I love that. That's awesome. So that's our preview for round 10. And we're going to talk about the other big news in the World Rugby League. The Perth 18th team being announced. Well, we've recorded this Wednesday night, so it'll be by the time we release this be announced. But Thursday, big news for Perth, big news for the NRL. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about this one.
It's awesome. It's good because a lot of the noise that we're hearing is it's an AFL town, it's an AFL state. Nobody wants them there. Get them out there. The Western Reds with this and that. And then for the NRL just to stamp their authority and stamp their ground there, I think is an awesome day for NRL and rugby league as a whole. Yeah,
I 100% agree. I'm really excited. And we'll talk about this off air before, the off-contract players coming when they come in. It can be a stacked team.
I actually just went to go and see some NRL players off-contract for 2027, right? The year that the Perths come in. And surprise, surprise, there's actually a few big names that are actually up for a contract in 2027. For the Broncos, you've got the likes of Jordan Ricky, Brandon Piakura, right? And then for the Raiders, you've got the likes of Corey Horsburgh, Sebastian Chris, Xavier Savage, Hudson Young, right? For the Bulldogs, you've got Matt Burton, you've got Stephen Crichton, Jacob Preston. The Sharks, you've got the likes of Oregon Golfosi, Britton Nikora. I'm telling you, some of these names that are rattled off, at least 50% of them actually coming to the Bears. The Dolphins, you've got Bostock, you got Finefil Yaki, you got Thomas Flagler. Obviously a bit touch and go there with him at the moment. Hopefully he is recovering and all that. You got Hamiso Tabuai. I can 100% see him playing in Perth. I don't know why, but I just can. Titans. You got Fotueka, Cleese Haas. Why not, hey? You got a Haas in Queensland. Why not have another Haas in WA? The Sea Eagles. This is an interesting one. You got Lehigh Hopwate. I know, I'm pretty sure Darren and Rolly want to be hearing this one here. Got Lehigh Hopwate. You got Taukola, you got Ben Trbojevic, you got and Josh Aloiai, but I know that there's a few names there that there's more there as well, but I just named some of the main ones. Storm is interesting. Stefano Utoi Kamanu, Ryan Pappenhausen, Cameron Munster, Jack Howarth, Eliasa Katoa. Man, there is a plethora of names here at the Warriors.
Okay, I'm back.
All good. I was just seeing because you touched on the Perth Bears 2027. I was just seeing the off-contract players. Yeah. Man, there's a tasty team right there, man. With all these available players, man.
Yeah, and they're talking about who was the coach they're talking about? Brad Arthur.
Brad Arthur. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently he's already bought a property in Perth. So, wow. And then the excitement comes, obviously, releasing the jerseys, the logo, the first signing, like the captain, it's like the Dolphins all again. It's really exciting for rugby league. Obviously, all we need now is this to come back. Something, yes. So I was talking about this off air as well. So that the New South Wales Cup, every team in the New South Wales Cup has a team in the NRL, except for one team now because the Bears are coming back. There's one team that's not in the NRL team, NRL comp, and that's the Jets. Can Adelaide get their fingers on the Jets and say, look, we can get you back in the comp, just like Perth did with the Bears, and make use, because you already got a team, but we just need a first-grade team. Adelaide Jets. We've talked about this before. Adelaide Jets just sounds good. It's not the Rams, but we're desperate here. We're desperate. So what are your thoughts? Adelaide Jets, would you get behind it?
Look, mate, it rolls off the tongue. It sounds good. I'll definitely back it. And like you said, again, echoing words of other people, in order to make it national, you surely got to add an Adelaide there. Every top comp in Australia has an Adelaide team, features an Adelaide team or two. So why not, have the Jets there? And I'm all for it. Yeah, absolutely. But I can't wait for this Bears announcement tomorrow, though.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited for the Bears announcement. And then obviously we've got PNG coming in, which is it's exciting, but it's not. Exciting, but I'm not believing it for the right reasons. I don't believe that people are going to want to live in PNG and play rugby league there. They obviously support rugby league there, but they've got a Queensland Cup team. They need to sort their country out before we get an NRL team. Hopefully it works. I won't. If they come in, I'm not going to boo them. I'll watch their games. I'll be keen to see them. It'd be good for their growth, but I think before PNG, there's Adelaide team, and I still think a second New Zealand team, and that's perfect. That's a perfect comp.
You speak my language. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Imagine the derby, the Wars and whatever they're going to be called. It'd just be crazy. Oh
man, twice a year as well. Come on.
Yeah. That'd be great. So, that kind of wraps it up for us for this week. It's just been me and you this week. Hopefully next week we'll have the full panel again. Yeah, everyone enjoy your footy. Make sure you're showing off your merch. If you've got any Adelaide merch, jump on our Facebook page, send us a DM and show us what you have. Because it's a hard thing to find Adelaide Rams merch. How long it took me to find this? Let me get around close on the camera. This cost me more than you would think, and I was buying it. Brand new too. So, bring back the Rams, enjoy your footy, and we'll see you all next week.
From the market lights to the dusty plains, from Rundle Street to the Flinders Ranges, we waited long, we stood aside, but this southern heart still beats with pride. We had a taste, now we want the rest, with the crowd at Hindmarsh pounding chest. This town ain't just for AFL, cricket roaring, V8s and wine. I got league blood in this heart of mine. So hear our call from the Adelaide Hills to the Riverland air and the copper spills. We're ready, we're willing, just give us the shot. South Australia's giving all we got. Bring it back, we're crying out loud. One more team for this footy proud crowd. We got room in the Barossa and heart in the port. NRL, come on, show us some support. SA government, we need your hand. Back this dream, help us take a stand. Adelaide's calling, can't you see? Rugby league belongs by the Southern Sea. From Norwood Nights to the coast of Glenelg, this town's alive, this dream's got legs. We built the grounds, we built the name. Just need a jersey, a badge, a game. Give the kids a team they can wear with pride. Not just footy in the eastern states, we are here and we've got voices, we've got the land. What we need now is a real plan. So NRL, don't let us fade. We've waited years, now plans are laid. It ain't just sport, it's the state's desire. So light up the West End, let's fuel the fire. Bring it back, we're crying out loud. One more team for this footy proud crowd. We got cheers in sung your songs, we stood in the rain. It's time to bring that badge home again. Bring it back, we're standing tall. One last shot, we'll give it all. From Mount Gambier up to Cooper Creek, we're rugby league strong and unique. Yes, state government and the NRL. Let's bring that Adelaide victory bell. We're ready to rise, ready to believe. Bring rugby league back, we won't leave. Yeah, bring it back. Adelaide's waiting, and we're ready to believe.
Go the Rams. Bah!
Adelaide to bring it out from their own line. And met by some very willing Auckland defence. And pushed back a couple of metres. Gerard Walters just goes from dubbing half to pick up Darren Doherty. Doherty, 25 metres out from his own line.
As now the Adelaide Rams make their way out onto Marathon Stadium for the first time. They